Hey Cully.
Hiya.
Welcome back. Well, today's video we were going to do a bit of coastal foraging. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's a pretty barren It's a pretty barren beach though.
It is indeed. I mean, there's nothing. There's no limpets on the walls, nothing like that. There's no cockles, there's
Plenty of seaweed.
Plenty of seaweed, yeah.
If you want seaweed soup with the side portion of seaweed,
yes.
We're rocking.
I mean, there is a sandbar out there. I don't know if you can see it. That's the place we'd really want to be for foraging on the coast. But anyway, as today's video says, how do we stay warm?
Yes, a lot of questions around that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you are a fan of the outdoors, seasoned or unseasoned, smash that subscribe button, like, share around for us. It all really helps. Thank you, guys. Let's get back to it, shall we? It's winter. Much like summer, you get hot, you get cold. You know?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be cold in the winter.
Yeah.
And it's not like stupid cold. It's not like hypothermia.
We're not in the Arctic or the Highlands.
No. I mean, the Highlands, everyone keeps saying, come up there, and we're not ready for that. Especially our kit, it would be absolutely...
Well, it's not like we haven't done the Highlands. We've been there before. But,
yeah.
In the more temperate months.
Yeah. So one of the ways that we keep warm is we're a couple. Use your imagination. So yeah, top tip number one, rekindle your relationship.
Plenty of cuddles.
Yeah.
The size of your tent also has quite a part to play in it.
Yeah.
The times that we've used a bigger tent, we've found that it's been much harder to keep it cool,
yes.
keep it warm, sorry.
Yeah. Bigger tents are always harder. You've got more space to warm up, like in a house. You know, you wouldn't have a little fan blowing heater to warm up a 13 by 13 foot front room. You would have two radiators at least, one on the respective walls.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Tara said, the smaller it is,
the warmer it is.
Yeah. And the less energy it takes to warm it up.
And then there's the thermals.
Yes.
Our thermals in the winter are just like a second skin.
Yeah.
We wear them all the time. We've got two changes so that we can alternate when we need to wash some. I
mean, we're not going to be like a Bear Frills and get a sealskin rug suit for us.
Yeah. And we've had lots of suggestions on how to keep warm. Also suggest that we're not warm.
Exactly, yeah.
But we're doing just fine. We're not cold.
No, we're very warm all the time. You know, I suppose the main kind of issue we have is getting too warm, and then that moisture building up on the skin for when the temperature drops at night time. That'll cause things like hypothermia, colds.
Yeah, always good to change for bed.
Yeah, every time. Always gotta make sure you're dry, so you're not getting cold, damp and wet through the night. But also to have a hot double fur coat dog. Yeah, he certainly warms the place up. He is like having a radiator in the tent. He really
Someone
is.
said about lining our floor of our tent with cardboard boxes. We don't need to. It's a fur-lined tent.
Yeah, we've almost got our own Alsatian rug out of it.
He just takes a shake and we're all warm.
Yeah.
So the winner of the
Trust Fire Torch is Mr. Busy.
Mr. Busy.
Well done, you man.
You were too busy for a blurb, but you really put some thought in and gave us a good blurb about your blurb.
For the blurb, in the blurb.
Well done.
We'll email you later and get your details and get that sent off ASAP.
And if you've changed your mind, we do have a runner-up on the ready.
Yep. So, yeah. Awesome.
Congratulations. The torch is yours.
Well done.
We'll email you.
Also, another real sure way of staying warm to keep the wind off biting is a waterproof coat. Just a thin waterproof coat, just to stop that wind permeating through your clothes.
Don't get me wrong though, they're not always as waterproof as they protest to be.
Nah, we call them not waterproofs.
All waterproof coats seem to have a tolerance to a level, don't they? And then they're not waterproof anymore.
Exactly.
Of course, another thing is the old thermal socks and the fingerless gloves. And particularly for me as a female, because us girls, we have a little bit of a harder time regulating our temperature to the lads. So I always have a pair of ski trousers on in the winter.
Hey.
Yeah, why not? Keeps me toasty. And if it does rain, I've got a little bit of a reprieve before they start soaking through. And of course, one of the main ways to stay warm in winter without a fire is to become accustomed to the cold in the winter. So to give you a little idea, there was one person that had commented that we thought, oh no, yeah, that's it, you get it. They're saying that they work in there like a big freezer. When they go outside, they said it doesn't matter what the temperature is outside, it always feels like a summer's day. And that's because your body and your blood is adjusting. So your human body is very resilient and it's quite adept to figuring out different temperatures. This is how we managed to populate an entire world as a species, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
because we can
true.
acclimatise.
Yeah. You know, some animals can't.
Yeah, we're very adept to that as human beings, you know, more so than things like dogs and stuff. You know, they get overheated quite easily. They don't sweat like we do. So we're well adapted for both cold and hot temperatures. I guess the deal is being able to manage it appropriately.
That's the thing, isn't it? You know, we're the apex predator of the planet. You know, we've, you know, the hunter-gatherers, the Aborigines.
The dominant species.
Yeah, they've honed their skills as human beings, much like us being nomadic, to be able to fare better in those conditions. I mean, it's winter at the moment. We've just started, you know, and it's mild.
Oh, it's so mild.
In a temperate climate, the weather is always mild, and you have the odd cold snap, don't you?
Yeah.
But that cold snap will only last a week or two, and as long as you employ the techniques in which we use, you'll be laughing.
Yeah, you should be fine. You'll adjust, you
yeah,
see.
but don't go doing it out in Alaska and, you know, in the Highlands and Scotland and stuff like that. Use your noggin, and you'll be rocking.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the nomads and through the ages, they would always move further south for the colder times, and then they would move further north for the hotter times.
Yeah.
So it's just something that we incorporate ourselves. We wouldn't go up north in the middle of winter.
No, no. I mean, a lot of people keep saying as well, don't they? You know, get a hot tent and get a stove and all this lot. Because we're backpacking nomads, it's very difficult to have that sort of equipment around.
Not carrying it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't dump it either.
No, and it's really unnecessary when, you know, we've acclimated so much to our environment and the outdoors. We really, really don't need it.
The suggestion of a hot tent or something similar to, or other suggestions that we're getting, I suppose would be perfect if we were having a problem with the temperature, but we don't have a problem with the temperature. We quite like the winter. We love the cold.
Winter's our best time.
Yeah, there's nothing better than waking up and you're all cozy in your bag and you get a hot coffee and you can open the tent door and see your breath and look out at all the damp.
Makes you feel human, I guess. Well, it does for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, you know.
And okay, it's not for everyone, and people get used to being warm all the time because they're going from warm houses, warm cars, you know, even in the shops. Do you go in a shop?
I mean, we've had it the last few days, haven't we? Family with Christmas and all that lot. You start to feel under the weather in and out of hot.
And so tired.
Yeah, so tired.
Really tired. Like I feel like I could sleep sitting up.
Yeah, I mean, you guys say I look tired all the time and all that lot, but
wow,
I'm feeling it now.
Yeah, being in that house, and no offence, the house is lovely.
Yes, it is
if you're
lovely.
Watching, but it's the temperature. It's just the heat.
It's just that temperature change in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
And obviously when we come in from the outside because it's colder outside, then we start to condensate. So our clothes will start getting damp.
Really feel it.
Yeah, and we've then got to take them off, try and dry them out, and then you go outside again because you've been sweating and you'll feel the cold instantly.
Oh yeah.
But until you start to acclimate again, it takes about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you're back to normal again. If you are a fan of the outdoors, seasoned or unseasoned, smash that subscribe button, like, share around for us. It all really helps. Thank you guys. Let's get back to it, shall we? Another top tip. If you look at the tarp video from when I was doing the snow, I got back in and I started shuffling my feet around. It's because my feet were cold, my legs were cold. As you all know, I was in my underwear. You know, go and have a look.
In his long johns.
Yeah. But the thing is with that, the minute I started rattling my feet inside my bag, you start to bring your core temperature up again. Your body starts getting warm. And the best thing to do after that is then zip up your bag. Keep that warm warmth from your body in there, and it will, you know, it will warm your core straight back up, won't it?
Yeah, get a jumper on. If you find yourself shivering, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, get on your dry clothes, get on your good gear, warm up, and then you can take off accordingly so you don't overheat, you don't sweat and then start to freeze or get cold during the night.
Yeah.
And another one is we have wool, thin, only thin, but wool undergarments. And those undergarments are like a jumper or a cardigan sort of thing. And what that allows you to do is to regulate body temperature, but also it's natural. And
slightly more breathable, actually.
Yeah. But I mean, with wool, it's natural. Nature got it right. We try to emulate that with synthetic materials, and for us to stay warm, it's always best to just go for the wool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go for the wool, because even when wet, it will still keep you warm.
Yes.
It really will. It will lock in that heat. That's why the Army used them, the Navy, the Air Force, we all used them. And it's there for a reason. You know, they're not trying to fob you off, go, oh, here's a synthetic one, watch this bugger get cold. No, it's wool. And they itch like mad, but as long as you've got a t-shirt or a long johns underneath, whatever.
Our long johns are a synthetic, just, I guess because of the itch factor.
Yeah. I mean, especially around the neck, it can really itch, and like under the pits and that. It's it can be a bit of an issue, can't it?
Yeah.
But it's worth it. A little bit of discomfort with the itch, as opposed to getting cold, damp, ill.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. Don't get me wrong, beaches are nice, but there is nothing. I mean, usually what you'll find, even on the seaweed here, you'll usually find mussels or anything like that attached to them, and there is nothing. We've checked all the way along this beach.
Not a shellfish in sight.
Not a shellfish in sight.
Sadly.
It's a bit shellfish, eh?
It is a bit shellfish, isn't it?
In regards to that, the reason we give the tips is because we live this life, and as we said in the previous video, you know, we don't know this area, so it was a gamble, and luckily we were only with family for Christmas, but we wouldn't stop in this area after scoping it out.
No.
It's cold, it's wet, it's damp.
Not a lot of forageables around here.
No. And the same is with that. If you don't know an area and you're going out foraging, or you're hungry and you're trying to look for somewhere, that morale can really drop, especially when you're cold, wet and damp. And then all of a sudden you start feeling hungry even more.
And you're going to feel the cold more if you get hungry.
Yeah. I mean, a good, that's another one, isn't it? A good warm meal inside you before bed. Keep that core up.
Stick to fatty foods, high protein.
Yes. Yeah. High fats, real high fats.
Yeah.
High protein, keep you going for a bit longer.
And as you'll see, it doesn't do much when you're moving around all the time as far as your weight's concerned.
No, not at all.
So, Callie, hopefully we've answered some of your cold winter questions.
Yes.
Do leave a comment below if there's anything that you feel that we haven't covered, or,
you know, surrounding our lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, willing enough for decent comments. We try and get back to all of you. We do try. But yeah, leave a comment, and we'll have a chit chat. We'll get back at you. And thank you for all of you absolutely bloody awesome people.
Oh, and thank you for those who bought us a coffee.
Yes, thank you ever so much. Sorry it's at the end this time, but
and do stick around. Awesome. Do stick around for the reel of those of you that gave us a super thanks as well.
Yeah,
it's absolutely awesome. We're very grateful.
Very grateful.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for helping us grow.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without you guys.
No. Anyway, hope you guys have had a very Merry Christmas and happy hopping.